Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I wanted to break down how I made that music video from yesterday. So I already explained this on the live stream on Wednesday night, so don't forget, you can always show up for those. Links in the description if you want to join the Discord and get the inside line on all the latest updates. If you don't want to miss my next video, hit that subscribe button, because YouTube ain't going to tell you. And of course, discussing all of the different things that you find, because everyone's in there sharing and discussing the new features that you can add in Comfy UI, and more farther afield than that. So we do a bit of LLMs and a bit of music generation nowadays. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to put everything together. So basically using a little bit of audio. That's what I used to create the songs. Okay, so we created some songs. And once I got the album all completed and mixed down, I had like 9 tracks. So then what I did was I took it into my LTX V prompt gen, which is the source code's up on my GitHub, github.com/mushroomfleet. You'll find inside the LLM prompts, LLM base prompts project. And you can just copy that into Claude projects. So obviously you can see I've got my Claude project here. If I show you what's inside of it, you can see I've got the video prompt system, the project manifest, the project instructions, the video examples for LTX V. So it's tuned for LTX V. And then the Ace Hollow FS version 3 cognitive enhancer. We've also got this, which is the same as the project instructions, right? So that's from system prompt. And from there, what I did was I said, here are the names of my tracks. This is the theme of the album, and I want to make an animated music video. So the first set it gave me was a track, like 10 prompts for each track. And I was going to get 20 for each, but in the end, I got 40 prompts for each. And also I decided that maybe these were a little too modern. So I came back and I said, can you make them a little bit more old-timey style? Okay. So wooden ships, no metal ships, sort of like a TV show, like a B-movie, you know, make the white whale to be something crazy. So obviously if you didn't see the video, it'll be linked in the description. It's just a sort of funk album with a Captain Ahab theme. So just, you know, that's what I was thinking about when I was writing the music. So there it is. And essentially, once we got all of these prompts, 10 prompts for each track, there are 9 tracks in all, I decided I wanted to do an AMV, so 90 seconds, and then sort of just crossfade it out for each of those tracks. Now, for this particular project, I have not curated anything, so all the videos that were generated are in the video. And I wanted to put together a whole bunch of workflows which had been used previously, you know, in various workflow packs. So if you go over onto my Civet AI, you'll notice that there's the Zoda LTX V video pack, which we use to generate the videos. Then there is the Toda tools, which can put things into grids, video grids. And then we got the Audio-reactive pack, which will make video timing to the music, right? So you put all 3 together, generate the video, put them into a grid, and then time them to the music with Audio-reactive. Okay, so pretty simple stuff, really. Now, I appreciate I could have used Hunyuan or Mochi, but it would have taken significantly longer, and I wanted to get the concept from start to finish so that I could practice making it better. When you have more time allocated, you can spend 10 minutes for 2 seconds of video, but for this one, 8 seconds for 2 seconds is much more much more conducive to actually making progress, because I knew that I was going to make mistakes. I knew that I was going to take a lot of time where I didn't need to, and so what I wanted to do was really just refine the process, evolve the process, and then make it better iteratively. So the first run is a dry run. Like I said, no curation. I probably would have done shorter tracks, knowing now, because some of the tracks were really long, like 5 minutes. And I thought, oh yeah, this will be easy. And of course, when you have to process it 1 second at a time, even if the generation is fast, it still takes a long time. So like I said, there's a couple of things I would do differently. And there's a few nodes which I want to make it sort of painless. But we start off with the Zoda LTX V workflow. So that's essentially, you've seen this one before. It's just LTX V with perturbed attention, which is how we get the best quality out of it at the moment. And then what I've done is I've just generated from my prompt list. So I loaded my prompts in here, so you can see all of them here. Look, the trad ones are the ones that were actually used. We load the trad video prompt lists in, and I'd queue up 20, or as it turned out 40 in the end, so 40 video clips. And then by the end of that, I had myself a decent amount of video footage I could start putting into grids. So what I do next is I would load each of the clips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, six of them. And then I'd load them in at 1280 by 720, so it didn't get too insane when I actually, because I was going to make this bigger. I was going to grid the grid, you see. That was always the plan. So then essentially we make this, right? We make that with all of the different whale footage. Now, I would say there's a reason for this. This is to offset, so they don't all start at once. If you notice here, we are using one video for every single example, but I wanted them all to play slightly offset, so that's what the batch offset does. It just sort of makes the first few frames happen at the end, but preserves the order. So essentially a batch offset, right? So that way they're all got the same length, but they don't all start at the same time. They all are offset by about 6 frames each. So after 6, you're at frame 30. And that gives it a sort of cascade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? So that's what's going on there. Then obviously from here, all I had to do was throw it into my speed bloom reactive grid. So the first thing that's going to happen is, obviously, we've got our audio and our video segment controls. So you'd set them both to 0. And then we'd queue up the number of seconds that we want. Now, as it turned out, the grid, which all of the grids, when you put all the grids together, they were 23 seconds long. So what I was doing was I was running it for 23 seconds, or 23 on the queue. And then when it got to 23, I'd hit 0 and queue it again until I got to 90 seconds. So that's what I was pretty much doing. And by that, I was able to queue them all up. And then you end up with something like this. Obviously, we've got the batch offset here as well, but I didn't actually use that when I was making these, so I bypassed those. But that's just another way to stop them all from actually playing at exactly the same time. You can kind of see a little flutter, which is like... I think it's a bit more natural when it flutters around the grid like that. And my idea was to do a double flutter so that it wouldn't be, you know, because your eye notices things even if your eye misses things, your brain sees them. And so sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of roughness in. But I felt that it was a bit too jumpy when you put them back together in sequence. So it makes sense if you have a play around with this. I won't bore you with the details, but essentially we've put a grid of grids. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put black bars over the top and bottom. If you've seen the video, you'll know what I mean. And then add a VHS effect and some film grain, because obviously this is a bit, you can tell it's AI, but once you start editing stuff, I mean, obviously some video clips are really obvious, but if I'd pulled out the worst ones, then it would be totally acceptable. But like I said, I'm doing this for education and research, so I just wanted to show you like roughly what you can do. And then if you want to spend more time on it, you can. So finally, the last part of this is obviously the audio reactive section. And what I've done is I have disabled chromatic aberration. I have disabled glitch, but I've left speed. So it's going to be modifying the speed of the playback, and then bloom to also go. And that's both going on RMS. So what you end up with is, you can see there's a sort of bloom pulsing that happens with the song, and also the just general animation will move with the beat. So you can kind of see that. And then all I had to do was assemble all of those clips back together again, and like I say, go into Adobe Premiere, which is what I use to put the final edit together, and then you end up with the video, which is linked in the description. So that's that. I just wanted to give you a breakdown of how that was made, mostly because it's like part and parcel, really. So like I said, this video will be linked from that video, and that video is linked in this video. I'm hoping to do more music videos in future with the music that I generate. I want to get better at it. And I think that by publishing all of my mistakes and then showing you the things which I've made to try and make that easier, I think over time, if I don't crack it, someone else will. And that's the point. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole shebang. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.